So good afternoon, everybody. I'll call to order this meeting of the Transit Executive Committee. And I'll ask the clerk to do a roll call, please. I'm pretty sure I'm here. Okay, and I'll look to any commissioners for a declaration of pecuniary interest and the nature thereof. Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adopt the minutes of the May 8th, 2024 meeting. Commissioner Gerard and Brent. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Thank you. And I'm just going to quickly go over. Oh, did we capture Commissioner Roy? Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to go over to our Deputy General Manager for a special announcement.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Just before we begin today, I just want to highlight to the Chair and the Transit Executive Committee the exceptional support that was provided to DRT from Nova Bus after the fire in August. We got a lot of support from a lot of different organizations, and Nova was no exception. I'm sure they moved mountains to get the buses to us as quickly as they did, considering the lead time we normally have on buses. They were able to get us buses very quickly. The first two buses arrived on May 9th. One is parked outside of HQ right now. I think some of you may have seen that. And even more good news is that the first electric buses from Nova are also arriving later this month. So just wanted to take time out and say thank you so much to Nova for all the assistance they provided. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to echo that, and a number of us before the meeting got a chance to tour that new bus with its fine new bus smell, and we did not take it for a test drive because we don't need another insurance claim. So item 4 in the agenda, presentations, we have none. Delegations, there are none on the agenda. Chair Henry?
Just on your comments, Chair, I think it would be appropriate to send a note to Nova thanking them for their help because of the fire. And if you could get the Chair of Transit to do that, or I can do it as the regional chair, it doesn't matter. And I do think we have somebody from Nova Bus in the crowd today, and we should, I think they're back here. And recognize them and thank them in this chambers for the work that they did in a time that was not so good for us, and how our staff made up for the loss of 19 buses and the work that they did for all of our staff members. They should be recognized as well, because losing 19 pieces of your fleet and being able to keep the service levels that they did was nothing more than amazing. And I think we should be thankful, but I think a letter to the manufacturer would be warranted.
I think that would be the case. We'll make sure we do that. And yeah, I'd echo that again, that the supply chain came through for us this time. So if we could get a round of applause perhaps for our Nova representative. And we are still on delegations, and there isn't any in the agenda, but I'll look for anybody that wants to move to alter the agenda for any other delegations. Commissioner Brenner? Do we need to? I need a seconder. Seconder, Commissioner Watton? We're amending the agenda, correct?
Yeah, so it would be to suspend the rules.
This is to suspend the rules and allow the delegation.
We need to get a 2/3 vote.
And so I'll ask for all those in favor. We need a 2/3 vote on that. And that passes. Thank you. So with that said, did you wish to come down, introduce yourself, and you will have 5 minutes.
It's me again, Joelle Vanderwagen. I made a written submission with the request to be able to verbally deliver, and so the details are in the written submission. I'd like to just take a extra minute at the beginning to make a personal statement and to thank all of you for the work you do in making local government work. 82, I was a executive assistant to a Toronto councillor back in the good old days of the original city of Toronto, 100-and-some-year-old institution that worked like a charm, efficient, humane, civil. I was blown away. And then over a decade later, the Premier of Ontario got up one day and said, oh, I'm getting rid of 6 cities. And I never got over that. And when I moved to Oshawa in 2016, I was so happy to see that local government was still well and functioning here. And so thank you for your work. Anyway, I'm just following up. March 6th, I came and I suggested that there should be continuous service on the east-west, north-south arterials, and that's a framework for the whole system. And now today I want to just look in more detail at 2, Wilson and Bloor. My husband gave up his car 2 years ago, and so he takes the Wilson bus. He has some business up there once a week. But the Wilson bus comes down from Conlin, past Taunton, past Roslyn. When it gets to Adelaide, does it keep going down Wilson? No, it turns west and goes all the way to Thornton, south on Thornton to Gib, and then east on Gib to the Oshawa bus terminal, the Centre bus terminal, and then goes back the other. So my husband has to go way out of the way. Now, luckily his destination is north of Adelaide. If it were south, there would be no service. There's no continuous service on Wilson, south of Adelaide, and yet there are continuous residential, retail, industrial activities all the way down to Wentworth. So someone should be able to stand at Wilson and Bloor and go either way in a straight line. So now let's talk about Bloor. When I first came to Oshawa, I thought, oh, there's a bus stop at my apartment at Ritson and Bloor. No, only rush hour. Useless, If I wanted to go to this major plaza at Thixon and Victoria, what would I do? Get up in the morning, wait for them to open, and then how would I get home? Anyway, then I bought my first car. All right. So I just am here to say that for 8 years, I've been suggesting that we need continuous service along Bloor Victoria Bailey. That's the main arterial in the south end of the city. The same kind of service you have at Taunton, Roslyn, King. And, that's a very busy arterial. And so quickly, I gave you details in there. About 2 weeks ago, I decided to do a test run to see if I could get from a stop on Bloor at Simcoe to Bandamere Nursery at Victoria and Lake Ridge. So I should be able to go straight across, but I can't. So the details are in my submission, but I'll just summarize to say that the round trip took me 3 hours. 4 buses, confusion. That's not right. And on those buses, I talked to each of those 4 bus drivers. I always talk to the bus drivers. And you know what they say? Nobody cares about what they think. They're on the front lines, the routes, the schedules, and especially the passengers. They're the ones that interact. And they really encouraged me and thanked me for coming here to say that the drivers need to be included in the planning and decision-making. I don't know, maybe an open meeting once a month they can drop into, or notes, or sending emails, but honor them. They're the ones who are on the front lines. Anyway, so I'll just say I have 3 recommendations. One is that Bloor Victoria Bailey should be a continuous service, and I've been saying that for 8 years. Apparently, it's in the Envision Durham official plan. but it needs to get off the paper and onto the ground. I've been saying this for 8 years. Secondly, the drivers need to be respected and included. Thirdly, we need to create an upward spiral of increased ridership and increased revenue. You know, we know Durham is heavily subsidized, but I mean, it's not easy to serve. It's very big and sprawled.
If I could ask you to
I'm done.
wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm done. There are some simple things that could start an upward spiral of increased ridership and increased revenue. Thank you for being here and doing your work for local government.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for the delegation? Seeing none, I want to thank you for coming out. Thank you for your input and your kind words. Oh, Commissioner Carter, you had your thumb up. Was that just to agree? Okay, thank you. All right, so that will bring us to item 6, correspondence. And if I could get a mover for the correspondence, Commissioner Brenner and Watton. Any polls on any of the correspondence? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. That brings us to item 7, reports. We have 3 reports. We have the general manager's report, the specialized transit, and the UPass, which that is a confidential item. Does anybody want a poll? If I can get a... I was going to ask for that, so we've got a mover, a seconder, please. Commissioner Watton, and all those in favor. Thank you. Well, we're just rolling along here. Advisory committee resolutions, we have none. Confidential matters, there are none. Other business? No, sorry, Chair Henry.
Thank you. We did hear from a delegation today. I would ask the staff take that in consideration as they go forward. As our new buses start to arrive, if there's any opportunity to make that corridor move along, they could give it consideration as they always do.
I think we've taken that. Thank you. Okay, nothing else. The date of our next meeting, Wednesday, September 4th at 1:30. And unless there's anything else, I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Watton and Chair Henry. All those in favor? Thank you very much, everybody. Go out and see that brand new bus if it's still in the parking lot.